keep the time moving. So brothers and sisters, it's my honor. It's my pleasure for the very first time on this show, the Hidden Truth Show, we have brother Sifu Sahu Teo Shen. Oh my God. I'm not even going to talk about what this brother's going to be going into. If you've never heard this brother speak, then you're in for a treat tonight, brothers and sisters. Brother Sahu, are you there, my king? Brother Sahu, the Patah School, ancient mystery system. Oh, wow. You're looking good, King.
Yes.
You are looking
good.
Good
Evening, Andrew.
How are you doing, soldier?
I'm doing well, you know. I'm doing good. Just listening to your platform, and it was really enjoyable, actually, listening to all the different little bits coming in and out.
Yes, my king. Yes,
Pleasure.
my king. Brother, we had a very serious conversation, and you broke down some stuff to me, brother. I said, you have to get on the show quick time and in a hurry. And I know this tonight is going to be part one, and you will be coming on to the show if God spares our lives in the very near future again. But you are now, brother, kicking off the health theme that's going to last for a few weeks because, brother, this is a time of winter, a time of darkness, a time of much sadness for many of our people. We are the people of the sun. And I'm not going to ask you, I'm not even going to tell you, brother, where you're going to take this because this is your expertise. And this is your area. So, brother, I thank you. Just want to make sure that you can share your screen. I'll give you rights to share the screen. So I just want to make sure as I'm speaking that you can share your screen effectively. You got the sound, you got everything working for you. Brothers and sisters, this is brother Sifu Sahu. This brother, I'm telling you now, he's going to blow us away this week. King, let me shut my mouth, hand over to you.
And thank you. Thank you, Andrew. And it's a pleasure to be on your show. All the speakers before me as well. It's a true pleasure listening to you. Gus, I love what you're doing there. Man, breaking down what to do and going through all that stuff there, making people think is so important. And this is a lot of what I'm going to be discussing, actually. Going into the system of how to cultivate our inner being. But a lot of that involves a thought process, a system, a pattern, trying to understand where we are on our journey. Before I go into it and start my presentation, there's a few things, you know, like contraindications. In this realm here, we all have our opinions and things that we understand, things we've been taught, ways we approach the world, the way in which we approach the way in which it's best to do things. So some of these things that I may bring up may bring some of these things to the forefront. In those moments, we just try and have an open mind, trying not to think about, you know, that it's a direct attack, but the possibilities. And really, this is like a framework to really put ourselves in so we can grow. This is what we're looking at here. And because a lot of the time, internal science is also can be seen as the mystic side, the dark side. Sometimes there is an attachment to something which is devilish as well. Qigong can be seen as this way from a Christian point of view. So we have all these different things going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just break it down. I'm going to break it down, try and break it down from the off start. Try and break it down from the off and then build it up to the now. Yeah, something like this. All right, so let's get into this science of internal alchemy. So this is just a little background on myself, starting into the holistic world or doing therapy work, you know, as a child, then going into meditation, 96. And that is through truly a mentor when I was at college. When I began university, I started a therapy work. I started Qigong, 2004. So that's almost 20 years ago when I begun Qigong. And then after that, because I was studying, I established my business in the therapy work. Started the Tai Chi after this in 2007. And then a few years after, 2015, I took over the school. And we are here now. And through all those different stages, we are trying to understand and grow and develop. And we enter into where we begin with alchemy. Where did it start and where is it coming from? From a Western perspective and generally globally as well. We're looking at ancient Kemet, where we bring it back to you. But the evolution from ancient Kemet goes through Greece, Rome. But there's also a side tangent that finds itself into Asia as well. So we have in a text called Onto D.I. Grant, which is a Rosicrucian text. Onto D.I. Grant, it describes a philosophy and the way of life. In that, it refers to Tahuti as being the elder Buddha, and there is a lot of Kemetic language. How when you read Egyptian texts, let's say, and the way in which their wording is put together, you get this similar theme, which is similar language to Christian texts. So we have alchemy originating from Kemet, and in that space there, we have Tahuti, and Tahuti, known as Toph, many names, Jehuti, is self-created being. Tahuti isn't created by none of the gods, none of the deities. He is self-created. And as he is self-created, he's the one who check and keep a record of all things, like observing the Hall of Amenti. We have this alchemy coming from this Tahuti. Let's say, when we come to the understanding of writing on papyrus and on stealths and into the walls, we're connecting this to Tahuti, to this ancient wisdom. And the things that we're going to cover really, as we skim through a lot of stuff to get an overview, are all these areas here. The coracoid process, where the CSF, cerebral spinal fluid, is created, and what's the purpose of this? And what stage do we really need to start cultivating and developing that? The pineal and the pituitary gland, the limbic system. So we're going to touch and go into all of those things there. When these areas are compromised, energy is not flowing through them, they're not electrified in a certain manner, or they're not vibrating to the correct frequency, depending upon the language that you choose to describe the same area, we have loads of issues that can manifest. Inflammation being the main thing that causes issues in the human body. Inflammation. And that can affect joints, muscles, it can affect organs, name all of them. It can affect direct systems, whether it's circulatory, whether it's the nervous system. So this inflammation is the main thing behind most of the conditions that we experience. Inflammation is generally a knock-on effect from some form of injury, strain, tear, cell death, or something going on through lack of nutrition, lack of exercise, lack of movement, all these different things going on. So the old ones thought a way to kind of resolve these things here. And there are a few things that we do need to be aware of as we start to enter into this realm here. When we're using our words or when we're thinking our thoughts, certain things that we kind of like have to put aside. The idea of wants needs to be moved along. Needs. Self-pity is an interesting one, along with self-doubt. Self-doubt can be useful for a second to give you the courage and strength to move forward. So sometimes these things can have a benefit, but temporarily, and it's not to dwell in there. And this idea of feeling victimized is another thing here which inhibits the flow of energy which the frequency itself reduces one's energetic frequency. So these thoughts need to be worked on, looked at, reviewed as we're going through the process. And near the end, we will look at the way in which the mind, or more ideal words to utilize. So when we're looking at health, we're looking at health not just from the idea that it's just a singular object we're observing, this be mental, how we mentally feeling, or our physical well-being, how do we feel physically, or the activity that we do physically. But when we look at all of them together, then we're looking at optimal health. Generally, we be cherry picking or taking the things that we're good at, or the areas that we're good at, working on looking at those things and missing out the other aspects that are really important to focus upon. So we have to put these things together and do activities really that focus on one or two of these things, whether it be every day or every other day, finding our own pattern. So we have our optimal health. Our optimal health when we're looking at from our connection point of view, how we're connected to the environment around us, because we're looking at our physical, mental, spiritual, social, economical, and emotional states, putting that into one. But then we have to connect this into a deeper layer, which is into our environment, the universe, and the things around us, feeding energy into these different states there. So we have a concept. Let me go forward. So we have, I'm going to go back into that. So we have in Western alchemy, so from when we come from ancient Kemet, and then we've come forward through the ages, because ancient Kemet expressed itself in a certain way, Western alchemy from Mercury took over the process, because say that we went through Hermes, Trismegistus, then we end up with Mercury. Through that whole process of Mercury as Tahuti, we got into the alchemy of mixing elixirs, mixing things together, trying to find the perfect way of being healthy by finding a miracle pill, a pill or a substance that was tangible, that we could actually use to heal ourselves. And they call that the Philosopher's Stone. This is an external thing. There was also an internal substance that if one could grasp it, if one could cultivate it and develop it, then this would also bring divine states of healing, health, and rebalancing. And this is known as the sacred secretion in modern era, or the Christ seed, the Christos, the manna from heaven. So we have this external, internal that was observed in the Western alchemy. So if I go back now, this internal and this external, right? So the internal aspect and the external resonate from the same energetic space that ancient Kemet was studying, electromagnetism. So we're really looking at something here that we can create externally that can yield a certain electric or magnetic potential. So we would utilize stuff like colloidal silver, monatomic gold, or we would make something along the lines of a ginseng elixir or herbs that we put into a spirit, going through a fermentation process with another form of elixir. All these things concentrated to enhance this energetic flow through the actual product. So internally, we're trying to achieve the same thing. We're gathering the chi or the energy. And where is the chi and the energy coming from? And this electromagnetic energy and this scalar field is what we're really connecting with when we're going through this process here. So the Dao, in Taoism, the primordial waters of Nun, in ancient Kemetic theology, Nun, this primordial creation, we can connect this with the scalar field or this space of energy potential. From that space of energetic potential, we have fields of energy that manifest. So we have this potential of energy that's out there. It's like the same concept of when Tahuti came into existence on his own. Tahuti came into existence, but Ra never created Tahuti, but Ra came into existence on his own. So Ra came into existence and then he created everything else that come after. And this has been that theology, where we get the understanding that Tahuti manifests from the same place, but without the instruction of Ra. But where is this place? It's similar to a story in Hinduism where we have Vishnu and Brahma. You've got three main deities. Yeah. Brahma is the creator of all things. You've got Vishnu. Vishnu is having a conversation with Brahma, saying how, yeah, like he's the greatest of all of them, really, because you only got Brahman himself and then the one that they created. And then and Shiva manifests out of nothingness. Shiva manifests. And Shiva have the power of destruction where these two can't overcome him. So where's Shiva manifesting from? I know it's mythology, but then modern science catching up with mythology in a slow rate. It's like we have this primordial space, but this primordial space, yeah, is not, so let me give it a different way. Sometimes it's just better to go through the mythology. So we have in Gnostic teachings, we have this idea of, and this Gnostic gnosis, which means wisdom from the Essenes. This gnosis is the foundation of Christian theology. But we're really trying to get an understanding of the Tao, or this energy that we're really trying to connect with. This is what we're really trying to do before we go forward. I'm just giving a framework here. So the Tao itself is something that exists before creation. So in Gnosis, it talks about that in the beginning was the primordial darkness. Yeah, it was that which was in the beginning. But from the primordial darkness, there was a shadow. And that shadow was known as chaos. And this chaos, from that realm, from that space, we have all these worlds that we know, this reality or plane of reality. But primordial creation is a separate space. And it comes like this, because the Tao is spoken of in a way where it can't be seen, it can't be touched, it can't be interacted, but it's interacted with. It's here, but it's not here. You go to grab it, but you can't grab it. It's like the Tao is like this. So we're connecting this to understanding energy. So from the Tao, when we're thinking about drawing energy up, we have the ability to create electric and magnetic fields from the scalar potential. From this potential, we can create fields in using modern language, yeah, but using esoteric language, from the Tao, we can create chi, or energy that flow. The pressure or gravity is like the pressure through our breath control, how we fluctuate the electric fields and the magnetic fields. So this is what's going on here. And as a result, all this energy, it carries different forms, Jing, Qi, Shen, which we're going to go through in a moment. All this different energy, vortex energy, which carry information. This information is fractal in nature, meaning that it's like sacred geometry. We utter words and it comes, sir. The only difference between electromagnetic field energy and the Dao, or the superscalar potential field or space, is that electromagnetic movements take place in the here we have electromagnetic movement taking place. So as a result, we have on the top line here like this pulsating and this moving kind of stuff going on, where in a Dao state, the 0 point energy, we have this stillness going on. So it blink in and blink out. It here but not here is how they understand scalar energy, which is way which we understand in the Dao. So understanding that ever so swift explanation, you know, understanding this ever so swift explanation that we have the potential to draw energy from a space that's not here, but is here. Being that this realm here operates on multiple layers, we have the ability to draw from an unseen place energy to create and do things. Like what we were talking earlier on in manifestation. So when we do this, yeah, so before I go into that slide, it's like this here is like, if we understand this, this change everything. Everything changes. The way in which you interact with the world changes. The way in which things return back to you change. The way in which one grows and develops changes. The experiences that we have in life day to day, it all changes. So at the moment, we understand that we've got an energetic space outside of us that we can draw from. And when it manifests in this reality, it's electromagnetic. We can manipulate that through our breath control. So we have something called interference, constructive interference. Constructive interference here. This is when two wavelengths, two frequencies, two beings, two humans, when two are resonating and they meet, we have something called constructive interference. That means the wave just amplifies, or there's a growth factor going on. When they don't, when these two equals are not of equal length, or they're out of frequency, they're out of vibration, we're utilizing two different emotions, there's a destructive interference that takes place. And it's interesting, a destructive interference in a wave formation, it come like a helix we observe. But when two frequencies resonate, like they almost merge, and in that there's a blip, there's a jump. So when we have an interaction with another person and we both are resonating, and there's a connection on a deeper level and you're just bouncing, then this is a constructive interference or wavelength taking place here. And there's these constant blips that's going up. Powerful moments for manifestation. Powerful. And also when we feel and sense that within. In those moments when we're expressing oneself or using tones or sounds in our meditation, we're creating geometry in the atmosphere, in the space around us, we utter a word. We say a vibration or a tone. And that tone itself resonates. That geometry has been found to be a toric field in nature, oscillating in a circular manner. So different sounds make different circular motions in the field around us. So we have the A sound there, which creates an outward expansion. We hear that when we hear or a word that has A in it. So we have different words that we use, and it's been found that them different words sounds in English or in any language that we use, because it's really the tone that we're here capitalizing upon. They change the field and the space around us. If we're feeling depressed and down, we literally change the field and the space around us. We're feeling upbeat, we literally change that and bring more of that in. So that is how we got some kind of light and sound mixing together to make physical manifestation through the gravity shifting and the electromagnetic stuff whirling around. This is how manifestation is taking place there in this physical plane through sound and light. And there are many things, there's many research now showing solar luminescence, or how light can make physical. You can create a star manifestation in a jar. There's a lot of new wave science coming in, but there is ways, this is all external. There's ways for this thing to be an internal process. So we go to the east. So we just pass the west, we enter into the east, and in the east, this is where we're now looking at it from a Tai Chi, a Qigong point of view. And we have two forms of alchemy in this practice. We have the external and the internal alchemy. Now I'm just going to spend a bit more time just going through these stages here. And we should have enough time to bring a little clarity to this. Because we've really looked at it from a separate kind of approach from the West. In the East, we had this same desire of creating this philosopher's stone. That philosopher's stone over in the Neidan, in the internal alchemy realm, was called the pearl. And you see this everywhere. Like you see the dragon holding a ball. That ball there that you see being held is a representation of creating the immortal child, or the seed for the immortal child within, for that to nurture, to go through the body and revitalize the body. And that is taking place within the spleen, all this process here. Initially, we have the lower realm where it takes place, but this pearl manifestation is being accumulated over time. That accumulation over time is progressively sent through the body, through the cerebral spinal fluid, along the vagus nerves. So the pearl is really, it's just to give an idea of the state of purity, where it's coming from an impure state and being refined. I mean, this is taking place in the spleen area. So we have within our external, which is called Weidan, we are creating our elixirs and so forth. But in our internal, we're creating this golden elixir. And the primary substance for this golden elixir, is coming from the cosmos and the universe around us. This formation of the pearl is being pulled out from the scalar field, you can say, and pulled into the body. It's being cultivated in the space here. But this is still, what I'm describing here is still a higher stage of development. So within this internal alchemy process, we're really trying to reunite with all that exists in the universe. And as we do this, we're going through our 3 stages: lower, middle, and upper Dantian. When we're inside this lower Dantian of the 3 treasures, it's like we require to lengthen the limbs, strengthen the body, go through myofascial work, strengthening muscle work, ligaments, massage therapy, cranial therapy, any form of therapy, really, that helps to connect oneself to your inner being. During this stage, we're looking at the clearing out of all the fear, worry, anxiety, stress, all these things that are giving us pressure in our everyday reality. Our strengthening of our body is the foundation to the whole process. Our eating of certain food is the foundation to the whole process. What I just discussed a moment ago, you have to earn that process, and that process is earned through exercise, certain type of breathing technique, a certain form of training and the discipline. So whether your discipline and training involves going to the gym, or it involves going to play golf, snooker, and I'm talking about the physical activity, that's fine. As long as you're stretching and doing your stuff, that's fine. But what we're also working along with now to move and to evolve is a mental approach as well, and a connection to that which is around us. So before I go into that little aspect there, we have I love this story. So many mythologies and stories that one has read through these years here. From the Odu Ifa, it's all about immortality. And it's a story that when you go through it, it gives you a different perception. So let's see. So Afusi, sorry if I pronounce this incorrect, father of Ilu, was searching for a way to avoid death, so that death couldn't kill him, his children, and his wife. They said, if you want to avoid death, you must sacrifice and follow the teachings of Ifa. Ifa will teach you the conduct and character which will enable you to avoid death. They said, when you sacrifice, you should begin doing good from this day on, more than before. You hear that? If you want to avoid death, you should stop. You should, your sacrifice should be doing good from this moment onwards, more than before. For your sacrifice is in vain if your character is deficient. Therefore, you should take the sacrificial pigeon and the chicken home. You should release them. You should not kill them. You should give them food if they come to eat at your house. And you must not kill anything whatsoever from this day on. For one who does not want death to kill him should not kill anything whatsoever either. Big point to take away from this one here is that sacrifice here is the sacrification of your character. You have to sacrifice through behavior, through what you choose to do. And that, I would say, is one of the hardest things. So we have a basic understanding that hopefully in alchemy generally, we have 2 forms, external and internal alchemy. We have the external, which is well practiced and is well known, and I touched about it in a roundabout manner. And then we have the internal, alchemy. And the internal alchemy has a process to it. And in Taoism, it's called the Neijing 2. And this is a diagram of it. This was hidden for the longest time. And then when a monk found this in the text, he was so amazed by it, he decided to draw it upon one of the temples in China. So this one is in White Cloud Temple, where you find this original depiction. And then you have other depictions going on of it. A major figure connected to it is Bodhidharma, and the whole concept that mind is the root from which all things grow. If you can understand the mind, then everything else is included. From the mind, it all comes. So in this lower realm, we have the work that's being done in this particular chart. So you have the boy and the girl doing the work, and this is lower Dantian. The gentleman ploughing. Then in the middle space, you have the heart, and the heart with the herder boy, with the Polaris, or the 7-point star, the 7-star constellation connecting to his pituitary gland. Beneath him, you have the weaving woman, who's weaving a thread that's moving upwards. This is coming from the spleen. At the back there, you have the river representing the cerebral spinal fluid. This is the same representation of the original one. Then you have the upper part, where you have the two characters, Bodhidharma underneath, and Lao Tse. And the Lao Tse, well known for the Tao Te Ching and the Book of the Way. The old boy, the one you see sometimes on the horse backwards with eyebrows dangling down, representing wisdom. So finally here, so we have this journey going on through the body. So we have, within that journey going on, we have really 3 stages or 4 stages. The second stage is kind of 2. In this first stage of health and longevity and trying to balance the body, we have the balance of yin and yang from within, the pulling of the energy from the universe through our breathing, our meditation, our practice, our eating of certain food consciously, of our lifestyle choices that we're making. As we enter into this conscious approach through whether it be yoga, or it be a meditation system that you're following, or qigong, we start to unblock the body, start to unlock it, and the energy start flow. When we're going through this, if it's not taught to us directly and we're just meditating in the morning, we can many times find sudden realization. During this stage, of most importance during this stage is balancing the sexual energy. Balancing for men, the prostrate area, and for women, the uterus area, the womb. So for us men now, that's working through pelvic floor work as well, just like the women, but we have a little bit more. Well, for the men, there are certain techniques to desensitize and strengthen the penis. For women, the same way, to strengthen the connection to an orgasm. Between the two of them, they are done and practiced in order to enhance this energy. Energy is lost tremendously through this space, through thinking, wasted thoughts, sexual thoughts. That process there wastes a lot of energy. So he's trying to transmute that energy to a heart energy. Really is the process going on here. Trying to move that sexual energy out of the brain, out of the lower realm, and moving it up into the heart. You have a desire or the thought of sex come up, you want to change that thought there to a thought that reflects either the moment or something that's not sexual, or your heart directly. Breathe into your heart and let it go. Release that so you don't end up engaging in self-satisfaction, let's say. Release that and move on. Part of the growth and development. The unification of the sun and moon alchemy. Between this process here now, this is operating in the middle dantian. Our jing and our vitality, our essence has been captured. Like, we don't waste our essence now. We're not, we have sexual energy flowing abundantly, just how we're seeing the boy and the girl, they're working hard. Boy representing the masculine, the girl representing the feminine, and that energy is turning and coming in and turning through the body. We've captured that now, and we've dissolved it, and we're able to still it. Now we can capture the heart energy. Now with the heart, we're unifying that with the sun and the moon, with earth, basically. It's an earthly thing. We are unifying with earth through our practice, through our interaction with people, friends, enemies, the whole thing, the nature or the environment that we live in. Once we can connect with all these subtle layers, friends, family, community, the city area, the country, planet Earth. You have compassion in all these different realms. You're doing your exercising, your activities, you're doing your eating of certain food. Then this stage, we're able to use this alchemy of transferring, changing qi, jing into qi, or vitality into energy. So now, that energy that is coming from the Dao or from the scalar field, we're able to capture. We've given the body a vessel to hold on to this energy. The energy that is all around us constantly, it's always there. We just can't grab it. And we can't grab it, we can't hold on to it because we don't have the energetic capacity to do that. The energy passes through us and through us every day, every moment, constantly. But it has no resting place. You have to give it a place to rest in, to reside in. You have to open up the channels. So now, when we go through this stage of the alchemy, through this earth stuff, it's because our heart is filled with compassion. And we are compassionate to all. Inanimate objects that are not real and objects that are real. Superior or not superior, whatever you want to call it. Everything is within oneness. So that's the sun moon alchemy, which is really is earth. Balancing, doing our sun gazing, connecting with earth, getting electrons flowing up through our body, this is our sun moon alchemy. Sun and moon alchemy. We surpass that. We work through this process, then we enter into this compassion, greater heart. That's why middle dantian is like you got to fuse the earth so you can fuse your heart. Once you go through this now, listening to and observing the stars, the constellations, you have different thoughts, you know. You be observing different things and you have different thoughts. Your expression becomes different. Your world around you changes. Doesn't matter how deep you're going into this stuff here. So as you enter into your soul, your heart, alchemy, then you can truly work on compassion. Before this, you have to release the first dantian or the first layer, fear, worry, anxiety. You can't work on compassion level alchemy if you haven't worked on the alchemy to resolve your fear. If you haven't worked on the alchemy that is your guilt, your depression, your anger. You have to balance that stuff there. And once you balance that, then you go into what we've known, or we call it the star alchemy. When we're here now, this is really the upper dantian, connecting with. This is when, if I go use different language, when people are talking about aliens, extraterrestrials, having transmissions from a certain archangel, This kind of stuff there. This is really star alchemy when you're talking with angels, beings, demons, you're summoning stuff. Yeah, we're entering into this stuff here, but we're really entering into the pineal, where we have astral projection, being able to walk in dreams. So we have this stage, which generally, again, isn't really gone too deep into. The highest stage of connection to the Tao, or to the scalar field, or to that which is around you, in order to achieve that level of connection, of disappearing, of being here but not here, appreciating that concept there of being here but not here, being of this world but not, being in the world but not of this world, we have to go through these other stages in order to enter into that stage there. Once we go through these stages and we're able to balance our emotions, our heart, we're connected to the earth and the planetary systems around us and this life. Then we're entering into a state that one can make choices, whether to ascend or not to ascend, which is a whole different thing, which they talk about the rainbow body. But this comes like the choice between that level, the red and the blue pill. They come like when we get to the upper dantian, it's the emotions which keep you in your middle dantian. You go into your upper dantian and your emotions start to change. Your concept of love expands and it changes. But that's something different. So just to bring that together, when we're looking at internal alchemy, we have to allow this energy to flow. When we're looking at terms and words, we have to allow the energy to enter into our being. We have to be filled with gratitude constantly. And we know this. Much evidence shows the effect it has neurologically on the body. And there is a level of acceptance that is hard to take on board, but it's important to review, to accept whether it's yourself is the one there that needs to be, you need to review, or to take a look at the situation again. Maybe I'm the one who done the thing wrong, or maybe it's not that. It's just that you just have to accept your involvement in the situation, that you was just present. Or maybe it's not that. Maybe you have to accept your greatness, how amazing and how wonderful you are. And you may have been hearing that you are not for most of your life. That we have to accept that we are multi-dimensional beings that are in a physical form, and the physical form gets its food from the outer, the inner realm, the space that's not there, from the electromagnetic space, yeah? But the electromagnetic space is getting its energy from another place, from a hidden space. And this is what we need to connect back with, really. Our health, without this included, our health is on a low level. We can be the fittest, we can be physically fit as an Olympic athlete, have Olympic level of fitness here, yeah, and have poor spiritual capability and ability, poor spiritual insight, poor spiritual connection, not in tune to the inner being at all, highly intelligent, low emotional content, whole heap of wealth. That optimal view of health is imbalanced. So we have to just balance all these different and put them together. Thank you, everybody.
Wow, brother, I was just thinking, teach on, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, come on, my king. You got
What you say?
more time. You got more
I
time,
finished you
brother.
up to. Well, there's more there. There's more.
Yeah, come on, brother. Don't. I'm gonna get cussed out if you stop there, brother. Come on, man.
How long have I got then?
Come on, brother. We got another 15, 20 minutes, man. Come on,
Oh
brother.
my word.
Yes.
Listen. All right. Well, we're good. Then we can get into the meat and potato. We can get into the real thing. Because to be honest, Andrew, all that stuff I'm describing, it's like to get to here. Because when I talk about the same language in the moment, it's like I have to go back. So really, it's like we need a background to even talk the thing. Brilliant.
Keep teaching, brother. Keep opening our hearts, man. Keep teaching.
All right. So this is it now. Right. This is it. So we're going to enter into the first treasure. And I know we basically spoke here about this space here, sexual alchemy, and we haven't gone into the 5 elements. But when we're looking at this first treasure, we're looking at the creation.
Sorry, brother. Just one quick second, brother. Let me just check with the audience because I'm going ahead. Brothers and sisters, and I'm gonna be looking in the chat room right now. Do you want Sifu Sahu to continue? Let me know. Because this is not my show. This is not his show. This is your show. Because my God, this brother is about to open in the books now. Oh my God, absolutely, brother. I'm hoping that you can see the chat right now. I hope we got over 300 laptops on there right now, bro. And unanimously, brother, come on, man. Keep teaching us. Keep teaching.
Okay. Because I'm there thinking, all right, here we go. I'm in my own time zone. Right. Thank you, everybody. So let's get into it, because this is what makes me laugh, This is where I wanted to end up, right here where we're going to end up right now. Oh, let me move that chat out of the way. Yeah, hold on, there you go. All right, so we have the first treasure, which is in the lower Dantian space. This lower realm is the formation of this pearl, or the golden child, or the immortal child in this space here. We call it the lower realm. We call this the lower realm because we have the small intestines, we have all the gut bacteria, we have all the microbiome in this space here, and there's all this stuff that we're working through. Beautiful text called Inward Training, the Kuntes. This Kuntes text was written by a court official, and this court official was writing in a way in which we should internally cultivate our being. But this was inside of a manual which was for court officials. Which was for court officials. So this manual of internal alchemy was a few pages hidden within a greater text on how court officials should govern, how they should live life, the thing that they should do. So in this text, there's so many gems in that text there, the Kuntes. And when I first read that, I'm like, yeah, Kunte. I already had a connection for some reason to rewriting thoughts in my head. All right, so therefore, this vital energy cannot be halted by force. You can't grab from the superscalar field, from the Tao, this energy. You can't even grab electromagnetic energy. We can create and grab electromagnetic quality between our palms and around our body. But this vital energy, though, can't be gathered by force, but can be secured. Let's start again. This vital energy cannot be halted by force, yet can be secured by inner power cannot. What did I write there? Cannot be summoned by speech. Sorry. This vital energy cannot be halted by force, yet, but it cannot be summoned by speech. yet it can be welcomed by the awareness. Reverently hold on to it and do not lose it. This is called developing inner power. So you can't summon it, gather it by speech, can't summon it that way, can't force it by power. It's your awareness that you have to cultivate in order to open something up inside of you. And when you do that, there is a space inside. This vitality is lost tremendously through the way in which we engage with our partners, sexually or mentally in our mind. And there's an old saying that when the oil is used up, the lamp goes out. So we have to know how to conserve our vital essence as well, different type of vital essence. Talking about men for a moment, we have to know as men how to save ourselves from ejaculating ultimately, or go through a process of either retaining from ejaculation, celibacy, or intermittent practice. Once a week, you may release, or let's say after 12 times you may release, or maybe after 3 months you may release. But this storing of this semen and the massaging of your prostrate glands through your pelvic floor pumping is what's going to generate or send this vital essence up. So we have to restore. So first we have to think about not utilizing it, not wasting it, ejaculating unnecessarily. Once we've stopped that and we've restored it through certain practices, then we can actually regenerate it within the system. And for women, it's the same thing. Women have to truly nourish this space here, you know. They got many different things, like utilizing an egg and contraction and relaxation. We have the same with from the toes all the way up, grabbing your pelvic floor internally, all the way up to your face, to your jaw, your chin, contracting the whole front line as a technique to actually energize the space. For a woman, it is interesting. When men have to restrain from release, women have to enter into ecstasy, let's call it. Not necessarily that you have to release as an orgasm, but then to enter into the space of being open, allowing the energy to flow. Just like constructive interference, the energy multiply when two are on the same frequency. And this is the true union that take place between man and woman. But many are a relationship between man and woman, or what is called lust, mistaken for love. And then we have a good 20 other forms of love, which are dysfunctional, which we misinterpret for love, but it's really a sexual form of lust that we have to work through. So that one there is one of the most challenging things. In the lower dantian, we have to move forward and enter into the enteric system. And when we enter into the enteric system now, into this gut area, the small intestines, because the lower dantian is the space where the womb is for women, just beneath the belly button, going back into the center of the body. In this space where we're pulling in the vital essence or energy through our breath and our thinking. Amongst that space above it, pressure build up in the small intestines. So the health of the small intestines are essential. And we're talking about, to get to the upper dantian, to get into that space for the energy to enter and to hold and for the stuff to circulate from there as well. We have to go through layers and levels. This is why they will talk of lower dantian or sex, or using your sexual organs, misusing them, how it reduces life, slows down it shortens your life expectancy. And it's for the same reason, this vital energy. So we've balanced that. We're working through this process. Some people may be good on that. Some people may have to work on this next section, which is the enteric system, the gut, clearing out this space. So then the communication through your vagus nerve starts to become more vibrant, where you can expand and contract, and the nerve signals are not blocked. They're not trapped by tears, strains, inflammation. There's an openness at the front. So cleansing out, breathing, doing regular fasts, doing colonic irrigation if necessary, using douches or doing any of these kind of edemas, any of these kind of stuff here to really rebalance the pH, the whole system. This is the important process going on here, and we're still on this lower alchemy or this first degree. So as we're working through that process there, we have to, and this is still lower Dantian process, or the first layer, the first level. We have to work through our 5 elements. The 5 elements, so we have, when we're working through them and balancing them, we are preparing ourselves for the next stage as well, these different elements. So we have fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. When we're looking at the fire element, we're looking at our heart. So this is the preparation to still the heart, so the chi can actually settle, jam somewhere. Yeah, so we have to still that heart. Then we have the spleen, which is an emotion of trust, being grounded, comfortable in your environment, or the positive. On the negative side, worry, apprehension, unsteadiness, ungroundedness, earth energy in the spleen. That has to be worked through, these feelings and these ideas. And it's the same for the other tree. The lungs, we're looking at depression. When we're experiencing that kind of cloudiness in our mind and our body, it affects the lungs. Sadness is the same, it's a similar quality, and it affects the lungs. So you may have a little cough going on. But when we are in a stage of creating something new, or forming and building something, refining something, refining a product. And when we're standing beside this refining process, this is why it is a metal quality, because we have all the minerals, all the gold, and all those things there, all the potential there, but it's through breath that we're refining the process. So it's a working energy, this lung, and we have to work with that and refine that. We have the kidney area that, and all of these, whether we're using elixirs, and in this term, modern day, we can say vitamin C is a way done, is a form of way done, which is an elixir, or getting a capsule, which is vitamin C, or getting garlic, or any of those oils like oregano, and then using that. This would be seen as a way done, as an elixir, as a being that's cultivating and is aware of the process that he's working through. So you know that you're using that for a particular organ or part of your body. So we have our kidneys, which is fear. And, you know, wisdom and courage is a funny old thing, but we require the both of them to balance out the kidneys area. We need the old wisdom, and wisdom is useless without courage, and courage is useless without wisdom. And then fear knock the two of them out. So that's what we're working on when we're looking at the kidney, whether we're taking certain diuretics to balance that out, or we have an issue going wrong with our kidney, then we have to look at this emotion and work with the bladder. And we have tones and sounds and movements and exercises to these different organs. We have what we call Dao Jin, which is a medical qigong, which works on these particular organs. And then finally, we have the liver, what we have to work through. And liver, dealing with anger, they all have their color, which I'll put on the side there. But the liver, it had its issue with anger, because liver is growth and expansion. Growth and expansion. Sometimes we grow and we not growing the way we want to grow. We're not developing the way we want to develop. We're not doing the stuff we want to do. There's a lot of that stuff going on with anger, you know. Anger sometimes is self-directed, externally expressed and put onto somebody else. Most of the time, it's an internal thing that we have to come to terms with. Disappointed at ourselves, frustrated at ourselves, but our language has redirected it. So those things that we have to go through as we start to cultivate. Ultimately, the limbic system is being affected right there, that center in the brain there. It has various different centers that connect to it. Those various different centers, hypothalamus, thalamus, the amygdala, these different centers here, they all have different aspects of our emotions, whether it's smell, touch, whether it's the sensation that one experienced in that moment, all that stuff there, all different information coming together. That's why it's the system, because different parts of memory and emotions are in different parts. The beautiful thing that we're able, through neuroplasticity, or we are able through repetition, 28 days, 1 month, repetitively doing the same activity, we're able to change or relocate brain cells to another part of the brain, or grow an aspect reinforced in it. So we move from one part and it go to another. This is why a lot of time in trauma, sections of memory disappear. And people that may not remember places, people, or things. But during that time, the body required extra neurons to actually stabilize other areas. So then it just take out, and the part of the brain that, and it's not that the brain holds memory like this, you know, it's just the neurotransmitters that are there to receive the frequency. If they're not there, or there's only a smaller number, then you don't have the full picture, let's say. So we can change over time clearly, and it no matter your age as well, whether you're 90 or whether you're 10 years old or 6. You can change, grow, and adjust, so the genes themselves aren't fixed or set. You may see certain issues happen in your family, and that can be changed in your paradigm. But then it comes with a certain mental approach and attitude. So that is like the mortal being, where we're going through this world here and we're dealing on the mortal realm. This is why we have to deal with the sexual alchemy on the mortal realm here. We have to balance all the lower nature stuff, or hell, the underworld. You have to resolve the underworld, the beings that reside in the dark or in chaos. All that is the mortal realm, and all that is lower Dantian cultivation through guarding the one and through doing many other different techniques. Once we now have balanced this, the 5 elements, and we've gone through balancing our sexual alchemy, then we enter into the sun moon, which is really entering into, and the soul alchemy is really entering into a superior being. We have let go of our perceptions, our fears, our doubts, our worries. And even if they arise, you know, and they manifest occasionally, or even if occasionally is every day, The way in which we interact with them are different. We don't see the thought come up and view ourselves as being disagreeable, bad, or negative. Thought come up, we acknowledge it, we kind of like move on. So we come from this mortal into this superior being in the heart. Many of us feel set, we are here, but you have to do the work in the stage before to fully benefit and reap the rewards of this stage. You can do compassionate work, but if you ain't dissolved the stage prior, it don't make no difference. You're just going to be vibrating at a certain frequency and causing yourself issues. And many of us do this. In this level, we have the heart field, the heart. Oh man, this is like the biggest electromagnetic field in the body. When that heart there pumps, it sends out a pulse around the body. But what frequency is your heart vibrating at? When that pulse out here and it's sending electromagnetic waves, now what I bounce back, what we're attracting. And it's through that cultivation there where our heart moves up. And we here, you know, when we start cultivating the heart, many of us may not be aware we're doing heart cultivation, and we may hear the second heart activate, and we think that we've got a heart issue going on, when really our heart are harmonizing. Like there's a metaphysical harmonization that takes place with the heart. That when your heart has been out of beat because you've been following on somebody else's beat, like your heart starts to rebeat, and you hear it and you feel it, and then it harmonizes, and then your heart becomes its true heart. And this is a metaphysical alchemical process that takes place that gets misread. Similar to the one at the coccyx, because it come up in my mind earlier, but it come up again, so I might as well mention it. At the coccyx, how we may have pulsation and irritation going on, never fall, never knock, but there's a buzzing, a humming, or a constant irritation. That is in chi energy, kundalini, yoga reality, language. We have a gland there, right at the base of the coccyx here. And when that thing there is pumped, and we're doing our pelvic floor pumping, this glossal coccygeal gland, something like this. I love the way I say that. This gland here, right at the base of the coccyx, when you do your pelvic floor, it stimulates, it pulls in nitrogen and oxygen. This thing here sends energy up the spine. We feel it as a tingling when this gland is filled up with nitrogen and oxygen through our meditation. And the same with the heart is going on. So these organs are going through a metaphysical change with the activity. We feel it, we may not be aware of it. Go through the stages on reflection, we catch up with it. So we discussed this quality with the pearl a little bit before, on the jump that, but we have this concept with the heart through meditation that we're able to hold on to the chi. Heart alchemy, we all practice it daily. We practice it daily, but we don't take advantage of what we're practicing daily for it to truly have a positive effect on us. A way in which we could actually enhance that process is through a practice of mindfulness, to be present and aware in the moment, on purpose and with kindness, non-judgmentally. This is the science of mindfulness. So we are paying attention, and I like that we have to pay for that, literally a currency. You know, we're looking at it this way here. With willingly, because you want to be there. That wanting to be there, and even if you don't want to be there, you know, that is the opportunity to practice this at its highest level. You don't really want to be there, but I'm going to be here right now and give it this moment here. And that is your intention. Relax your inner being, relax your head, and you smile. You're already there. Especially when you're already there, or it's already happened. So it's investing in the moment. And this acceptance, when we can practice this level of non-judgmental, a non-judgmental approach, it deactivates the pressure that is generated on all your systems, all of them. Every system is affected by the art of being non-judgmental. I mean, it affects stress immediately. Our stress levels reduce, but because that happens, then we have effect through the whole body, like an endocannabinoid effect, like a bliss effect from acceptance. It's like a realization. So as we're going through the process of being mindful and we take in a breath and other stuff come in, this is when we're thinking about just being here now. If we're going to utilize that form of meditation, because there are others we can do. Once we do that, if we're unable to, then we have to take awareness to our breath. If our breath isn't enough, then we have to touch our body or touch something, various layers to bring us back into focus. Wow, if we can do this 15 minutes in the morning, oh man, that is amazing. 15 minutes in the morning. If we can extend that though, which is really amazing, because that's a high level now. If we can extend this from that in the morning throughout the day, where we are mindful of our breath and we're able to breathe in for about 5 seconds throughout the day, even if it's for 2 or 3 hours of a day, and we've got a 6 to 8 second breath, man, that impacts our health tremendously. I did do a presentation expressing over the last 100 years of breathing pattern, and it showing that 100 years ago that people had this kind of breath pattern, and they was connecting it to the environment, windows, lights, and stuff coming through the window. So it was like a look at melatonin, really. And it had this mentioned in it. And I thought that was amazing, because it showed that in modern era, we're like 19 breaths, 16 breaths to 19 breaths, 3 seconds, 3-second breath. Most of us, that puts extreme pressure on the body. That is like panting, and we're not aware. Like panting, the organs are just straining. So we have to slow it down. And when we do that, that has an amazing effect, allowing us to focus, letting go. Our circulation shifts and changes. We connect with people better. It's a wonderful effect. But we have 2 types. This being mindful in the moment, which is open monitoring, which creates theta brain waves. And we have what the old monks and those that sit down, focused attention, like on one thing, creates gamma waves, highly active waves, but bring you to a calm mental state. This is probably what.
King,
Yeah.
3 minutes left, King. 3 minutes.
All right. Okay.
Beautiful teaching, King.
All right. So with those 2 different types of meditation, we're ultimately affecting this vagus nerve, affecting all these different organs as an offshoot. We can control this to 4 to 5 to 6 breaths, 6 breaths, 7 breaths, 8 breaths a minute. Yeah, that's cutting it in half. Then all these organs are under less stress, which activates our endocannabinoid system. Oh man, just let that DMT as well. Did I get that? Is that there somewhere else? That DMT to flow, but it does shift the mechanisms. So we have loads of options that we can do to to support this part of the process, which is our heart or lower dantian. And this is the final part. Let's see. They say to nourish this part is the hardest and the highest task. This is the Yellow Emperor. So now we're connecting to the Dao when we're in this upper region now. And now we're working with this corpus callosum, this space here where we have this blood-brain barrier where light turns to liquid blood, or it enters into the cerebral spinal fluid. In the center part here, we have the fontanelle, where space enters. We are doing this here, but for this to be it's total benefit, we need to look at all these layers before. But in this CSF, this space here, in this coracoid process, we have this release of this fluid. So we have the light being gathered in the center through the fontanelle, and then that affecting the coracoid process. As that takes place, we got this lovely fluid that's released from it that goes down, release out through the brain. Along with this, we have our DMT, which is called a spirit molecule, all circulating in the space here, all upper dan work, upper dantian. And a lot of us focus here, but we're not ready for here. We need to do the other works. But when this DMT and this anandamide release in all these areas of the brain, this is where we enter into what is called a flow state. And this state here is what connects us to that which is not here, where we see stuff which is here and not here, where we move through space and time differently, where everything seems one and not differentiated. In this state here. But by the time we get there, it come like this, brother Andrew, it come like this. Huh? Which one? You got to make a choice, man. You got to make the choice. You got to make the choice. Because you're going to, from here, disappear or stay. You get to upper dantian, it's either you're here in the world or you're not here in the world. It's either you're living here and you're not here, you're living here and you're here. But it's this choice that needs to take place. Other than that, it's truly returning back to source, returning back. This is spiritual immortality, or what is called rainbow body. We want to ascend through the practicing of them work there. We enter into this space. And thank you, everybody, for allowing me to go through everything.
Wow. Brothers and sisters, what are you saying tonight? Did we not warn you? Did we not warn you? Drop the ones if you're feeling the king. Chief instructor, Sifu Sahu. Drop the ones if you're feeling this king. It's his first time as a keynote speaker on the Hidden Truth platform. Drop the ones. Wow. Who's this one now? Sister Donna Barrett says, beyond words, my brother, beyond words. Wow. Let us know how you think. Sister Sharon 66. Wow. Thank you very much. Awesome. We need more. I hear you, Sister Sharon. What are you saying? Is it Mike? MKE says fulfilled. Oh my God. Let's have a look at this. Karen Vezen says the king shared his knowledge. Yes. Sharon Maria, amazing. Deborah Isaac, simply brilliant. Come on. Lorene, the clarity read the internal organs. Wow. Jeez. Come on, brothers and sisters. This has been the Hidden Truth. You don't play with us. You don't. We've been on the baddest on this platform. The baddest. Brothers and sisters, let me know. Let me know. Would you be interested in a part 2? Would you like my king to be back on this platform in the near future? Let me know. Could you sit at his feet one more time? one more time, would you like to sit at the feet of Saul? But if you're saying yes, you're going to bring people with you, man. You got to bring people with you, man. This brother doesn't come out unless there's 1,000 in front of him, man. Now, that's a joke. That is a joke. This brother will teach if there's only one, and he will give his best and he give his heart. Brother Sahu, if you was to come back to the platform, King, where would you like to take us? Because, you know, you can tell tonight, man, we're on you, brother. We're with you. We're walking the same path as you, King.
Wow, that's an interesting one. Almost, I would like to throw that one back out there to everybody. But as we're into the inner worlds, it will probably be either going clearer, deeper into one of the stages, which I'll have to review. Yeah, or the because what I find a lot of the time, the background understanding to what we do is lost. We don't actually know why we do what we do. So a lot of the time I find myself explaining this, the philosophy, the mental state, the way in which one, a more effective way to view reality in order for it to benefit you. Okay. And I don't use this in the sense of teaching manifestation, but it ultimately is the same thing. The science of manifestation, but I don't really talk about manifestating. I'm just talking about if you put yourself into that state and pull it in, you can manifest whatever you desire. I'm just not on that side of the story.
Oh, wow.
So am I going? Yeah. So, yeah. Because, you know, as well, Andrew.
Yes.
I did think, even though I had that whole presentation, I did think when I was preparing it, I said to myself, wow, I'll end up with so many slides like this. I think that might be 2 presentations. I'm like, I'd end up with, I think I end up with 80 slides or 70 slides. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to split that in half. That's why I stopped halfway through. But I thought, okay,
we wanted more, brother. We wanted more. I had to give you extra time, brother, because my life would not be worth living right now, brother, because the Hidden Truth family, they don't play with me. If they don't feel as if they've got enough, man, it's me they're coming after, King. So you had to feed my people tonight, and you done that, brother. You done that so damn well, brother. We need you back on the show. We'll have a discussion, brother, because we are now in our internal and external health theme right now, and you had, and I said it on the phone to you, brother. I wanted you to open up this series. It had to be you, brother, and you fulfilled it in so many ways. All right, King, we thank you so much. What are your closing words to us? What are your closing words?
The journey that we're on, it's a journey, and there are stages to it. You got to be kind to yourself. You got to be patient. Show compassion, because you know, say we use the word love in many cases, but I tend to use the term compassion and kindness to yourself along the journey, because it's not straightforward, and we're tested, and every day we lose our vitality. Every day we have an opportunity to gain it. So let's be patient along the journey.
Beautiful, beautiful words. We bow to you. Brother Jamie, did you want to say something? I noticed you turned your camera on, King. Is there anything you wanted to say?
No, I just want to big up Sahu, because he's one of, as I said in the chat, he's one of my master teachers. So he's helped me out a lot. So
yes, Jamie.
It's true. So big up Sahu.
You're representing the target.
Of course.
Give thanks. You see it there? Because Jamie done one of our health and longevity courses. Yeah. I do need to put another health and longevity course out to the public again. You know, but Jamie, thank you for representing.
Yeah, man, anytime.
And I know that there's enough students there as well.
Of course.
Fantastic. Brother, people are asking the questions. Do you do one-to-ones? Jamie is just showing us that you do your school in action. Yes. How can they contact you? I know throughout the whole of your talk, brother, don't worry, we've been putting in your contact details, your emails and everything, but do you do one-to-ones? What's the situation?
Well, they can just email me. or send me or phone me or send me a message. We can have a discussion about that. But we do one-to-ones. We do the class online, or we do one-to-one online or in person. I have students already that I'm working with, so sometimes I have to just shift my day. At the moment, I've shifted two that were separate into a Sunday. It's like I have a free moment on another day. So we'll see, because it's generally like an hour and a half one-to-one.
Fantastic.
Or they can join the class.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brothers and sisters, members of the Hidden Truth family, this tonight will be on replay. If you're a Hidden Truth member, you can get this and replay this at least 5 times. There is so much wisdom in tonight's presentation, brothers and sisters. You can't hear it just once. So if you're a Hidden Truth member, if you're not a Hidden Truth member, please visit our website, sign up, become a member, and you can have this at your leisure. We will be doing some more breakdowns on Popcorn Fridays, Rice and Peas Sundays, and 1 or 2 events before the end of the year. Remember, this is the Hidden Truth platform. We do work in conjunction with Hidden Science, and Brother Sahu has always been one of our key components in our health weekenders, okay, our wellness weekenders. Sahu is key in that element. Brother Sahu, once again, we thank you so much, my king, and give my love to your beautiful beloved. Stay strong and keep fighting that work for us, brothers. You're saving lives out there. You're saving lives. Brothers and sisters, this is the Hidden Truth
Thank you,
Show.
Andrew.
Yes, my king. Sahu?
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, my big brother. Thank you, my big brother. Brothers and sisters, you can see this is one of our kings here in the UK, and we don't play Black Thought time.
We're just out in sunny Portugal and wanting to say, Guan Papa G.
Rastafari forever. Brothers and sisters, please, once again, drop some ones. Brother Sahu, the chief instructor, yeah, and Sifu. Come on, brothers and sisters, drop the ones. We're going to be bringing the back. This brother is so deep and yet so humble in his knowledge and in his wisdom. We've got a beautiful community, brothers and sisters. Let's keep supporting. Let's keep supporting.